Let's talk about the flipped classroom. What is it? How is it used? And how can it be used in your classroom? What is the flipped classroom? The flipped classroom inverts traditional teaching methods, delivering instruction online outside of class and moving homework into the classroom. The role of the teacher is changed in the flipped classroom. In the traditional classroom, the teacher's role is the sage on the stage, while in the flipped classroom, the teacher's role is the guide on the side. Students watch lectures at home at their own pace, communicating with peers and possibly even the teacher via online discussion. The concept engagement takes place inside the classroom with the help of the instructor afterwards. So it is a reversal of traditional teaching where students gain first exposure to new material outside of class, usually via a reading or a lecture video. Class time is used to do the harder work of assimilating that knowledge through strategies such as problem solving, discussions, or debates.
You teach a course where you normally lecture to students during class time. They work on homework and group assignments during their own time. What if there were a way to do the lectures outside of class time so you could use class time to have students work on activities together? Welcome to Flipping the Classroom, Simply Speaking. It's a pretty common course design. Students gather in a classroom a few times a week to hear a lecture. A faculty member may show slides, play a few videos, demonstrate some concepts, or solve problems. On their own time, students work on problems and arrange times to meet to work on group projects. Some faculty are finding ways to increase student engagement and improve learning by flipping this design. In the new model, students watch, listen to, and interact with content on their own time, and then use class time for engaging activities. Here's how it works. Say you're teaching a biology course. One week you talk about invasive animal species, such as the Asian carp. Instead of lecturing, you post a few YouTube videos about Asian carp. You also produce a video of your own in which you show some photographs of other invasive species and talk about their origins. You want to keep each video interesting, so you keep them under 10 minutes each. To help trigger discussion, you also include some questions that you will be asking students to think and talk about during your next class session. Later in the semester, students can go back to these videos to review key concepts to prepare for an exam or to guide a project or paper. Short videos are just one option. Audio podcasts, VoiceThread, and many types of interactive media can be used as well. The main idea is to capture your presence, thoughts, and guidance that would normally take place in a classroom setting. Now that the lecture is done outside the classroom, what do your students do when they get together? You can have students bring their laptops to class, work in groups, and research one of the other invasive species that you discussed in your video. Where did they come from? What impact are they having? What is being done to control them? Since they're doing this research during class time, they can get your assistance in determining good sources of information and how to interpret what they're seeing. Also, you'll get a better idea of which students are doing their fair share of work in their groups. There won't be any more excuses that students don't have time to get together for group work. If an interesting idea comes from one group, you can get the attention of the class and have a spontaneous discussion. In short, you can create a much more active environment. There are many other activities you can do in the classroom. Have students discuss course concepts or take different sides of an issue and debate their merits. Students could share drafts of papers that they're writing and get feedback from you and other students. Students can work on difficult problem sets, share solutions, and ask for help when they get stuck. Organize students into groups and have them answer questions about a case study, or they could write and practice a presentation about a topic of your choosing. There are ways of using class time for activities involving any discipline. The important thing is to get students to engage with the content of your course. Flipping your classroom involves some serious thinking about the way you are teaching and the way students learn, so you may want to start with a single topic or week and see how it goes. The results may surprise you. This has been Flipping the Classroom, Simply Speaking. To get more information about this topic, visit tlt.its.psu.edu/flip. This video was produced by Penn State University and is available for use under Creative Commons license.
So here is an example of a flipped classroom model. As stated before, The activities that take place outside of class include the students looking at videos, demonstration and tutorials, simulation and games. While in class, they work on projects collaboratively, individual and group problem solving, and peer-based learning activities. There's a benefit because it provides faculty or teachers with more in-time class to work with individual students and allow students to master content at their own pace. The design process involves allowing the teacher to plan for achieving lower order learning outcomes such as remembering, understanding, and applying outside of the classroom, while planning for higher order learning outcomes and activities such as analyzing, evaluating, and creating inside the classroom. Let's look at the full picture of the flipped classroom. The teacher creates the experience for the learner through carefully planned experiential engagements done through games, simulation, and other interactivities such as experiments, community projects, and art activities. These activities are supported through concept exploration in video lectures, audio lectures, content-rich websites, and online chats. The learner makes meaning through tests, generating audio-visual reflections, videos, and bloggings, shared through demonstration and application of the content by designing creative, personalized projects and presentation. The flipped classroom looks different from the traditional classroom. It is very learner-centered and is achieved through the careful planning of the experience by the teacher. The purpose of flipping a classroom is to shift from passive to active learning in order to focus on higher order thinking, such as analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. The classroom becomes a place to work through problems, advance concepts, and engage in collaborative learning. The flipped classroom is about making connection with learners and differentiating your instruction as a teacher. What are the benefits of the flipped classroom? It promotes student collaboration and concept mastery exercises. It creates a student-centered learning environment, which keeps students engaged, learning at their own pace, and taking the responsibility for their own learning. The student-teacher interaction is enhanced and it allows for differentiation. However, there are some challenges to using this model. There's a challenge of access to technology. There's no guarantee that students will watch the online lecture at home and come to class prepared. Some parents may not like the idea of a flipped classroom. Class sizes and resources are problems based on the numbers, and there might be resistance from other teachers, school administrators, and students themselves. There are several steps that the teacher needs to take in order to successfully flip a lesson or successfully flip the classroom. They need to market the model to the students, get them excited, get them understanding that they have a major role to play in the successful flipping of the lesson. After the teacher has created the lesson, they should allow the students to be in charge of their own learning. They need to get out of the way. Make sure that every student has access to the lesson. Ensure that enough time is given for this to happen. Use models of assessment that are used in the flipped classroom, and give a reason for the students to be prepared. Have them to look forward to something that they'll enjoy and they will experience success.